The countdown has already begun, and the universe is beginning to lift the veil on one of the most profound secrets of our time. The Pleiadians, a highly conscious civilization from beyond the stars, are sending out a powerful and urgent message, one that echoes across dimensions and vibrates deep within our collective soul. They've come with a warning, but also with a promise. The shadowy forces that have long manipulated the fate of humanity are on the verge of collapse. This isn't just a story about destruction or chaos. It's the beginning of something far greater, a rebirth. For generations, these dark forces, often called the Black Cabals, have ruled through fear, division, and deception. They've thrived by keeping us small, separate, and disconnected from our true power. But their time is coming to an end. Their empire, built on lies and control, is falling apart, and in its place, a new and radiant chapter is beginning to unfold. According to the Pleiadians, this is the moment we've been waiting for. It marks a cosmic turning point that will lead to extraordinary transformations, both in the spiritual and physical worlds. This isn't just another prediction floating around in the ether. It's a direct invitation, a wake-up call, a heartfelt urging for us to rise, to align with higher frequencies, and to step fully into the life we were always destined to live. The breakdown of these outdated structures is clearing the way for something miraculous. A wave of unity, wisdom, and abundance is approaching, something the world has never experienced before. And the question now is, are you ready to witness the unraveling of the darkness and embrace the dawning of a new era filled with light? If you're feeling this message deep in your heart, feel free to affirm it right now in the comments. A simple, "I am ready," is enough to claim your alignment with this shift. Before we dive deeper into what this message means for you and the world, I want to share a small request. Lately, these videos have had a harder time reaching the people who are meant to hear them. If you feel connected to what you're hearing and want to support this message reaching more like-minded souls, please consider clicking the thanks or join button. Your support makes a huge difference. It not only helps me continue creating these insights, but also ensures that more people awaken to this powerful truth. Every little bit matters, and together, we're creating a ripple of change. Now, let's step into this revelation, because what's coming may open your heart and mind to a reality you never imagined possible. The Pleiadians are offering us the keys to thrive through these massive changes ahead, and it all begins with what's unfolding beneath the surface right now. There's an energetic shift taking place, subtle yet powerful, and it's affecting everything. Even if you can't see it with your eyes, you might already be feeling it in your body, your emotions, and your daily life. These unseen energetic waves are like invisible currents under a still ocean, quietly reshaping the landscape without warning. They're stirring things up in our inner world, sometimes without us realizing why. You might be noticing waves of unexpected emotion, as if a sudden storm has swept through your inner space. One moment, everything feels normal, and the next, you're overcome with tears, frustration, excitement, or even deep sadness. It can feel like your emotions are moving on their own, like you're on a roller coaster with no control over the next drop or climb. Along with these emotional swings, you might be feeling unusually tired. It's the kind of exhaustion that sleep can't fix. You could be taking care of yourself, eating well, getting enough rest, but still feel like you're running on fumes. This isn't just physical fatigue. It's a deep, soul-level weariness, like something inside you is trying to process a massive amount of energy all at once. And yet, within all of this, there are moments of sudden clarity. Bursts of inspiration may strike out of nowhere. One moment you're exhausted, and the next you're lit up with new ideas, a fresh perspective, or an intense desire to create something meaningful. It might feel magical, like the universe just flipped a switch and let you peek into a new reality. You might find yourself wanting to start a new project, shift directions in your life, or reconnect with something you had once set aside. These flashes of insight are not random. They're part of the energetic upgrade we're going through, nudging us closer to our true purpose. At first, it can be confusing to make sense of these ups and downs. But once you begin to notice the patterns, it becomes easier to work with the energy instead of fighting it. You might realize that certain times of the day, specific places, or even interactions with certain people trigger these emotional or energetic shifts. It's as if your energy body is becoming more sensitive, picking up on vibrations you once ignored. Learning to flow with these shifts is key. When intense emotions come up, you don't need to suppress them. You can acknowledge that they're part of a bigger process playing out across the planet. And when that deep fatigue hits, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a message from your soul asking you to slow down and integrate the changes. The more aware you become, the more you can ride these waves gracefully instead of feeling like you're drowning in them. These waves are not here to punish or overwhelm you. They are here to transform you, to awaken you, to clear away what no longer serves so that something far more powerful can emerge. This hidden energetic upheaval is a sign that something beautiful is unfolding, something we've long been preparing for. If we can tune in and allow the transformation to happen, we'll find ourselves rising into a much higher state of being. What's happening on the surface, the collapse of old systems, the breakdown of familiar structures, isn't just about politics, money, or society. It goes much deeper. This collapse is a spiritual event, a cosmic cleansing. The systems we've relied on for so long were built on control, manipulation, and illusion. Like an old tree that grew too wide and heavy to bend with the wind, these systems became rigid, brittle, and unsustainable. But just like trees shed their leaves in autumn, making space for new growth, these old constructs are falling away so something new can take root. It's all part of a larger cycle, death and rebirth. What we see crumbling around us is also awakening something powerful within us. This shift is calling us to reevaluate everything: who we are, what we value, and the kind of world we want to live in. As the external world transforms, we're also undergoing a deep, energetic cleanse. Think of it like a spiritual detox. Just as we might cleanse our physical bodies by drinking more water or fasting, humanity is now being asked to clear away centuries of built-up emotional and energetic toxins. Energies of fear, greed, and deception have been stored in our collective psyche for lifetimes. And now, like a long overdue clearing of clutter from an old house, it's time to let them go. Fear has kept us small, hesitant to trust ourselves or connect with others. Greed has driven us to chase after empty goals, often at the cost of our inner peace. Deception has clouded our ability to see the truth of who we are. But now, as we release these energies, we're making room for something new to enter, something far more aligned with our soul's truth. This detox process isn't easy. It stirs up emotions we thought we had buried. Old wounds resurface. Fears we thought we had healed return. But all of it serves a purpose. Like pulling weeds from a garden, these old energies need to be cleared so that new life can grow. The more we allow ourselves to let go, the more space we create for clarity, peace, and deep connection with our authentic selves. This isn't just the end of something. It's the beginning. The universe is inviting us to reclaim our inner power, to remember who we truly are, to step into a new era with courage, grace, and the understanding that we are part of something far bigger than ourselves. So, as the old world falls away, remember, you're not just witnessing history. You're participating in a planetary rebirth. And if you can stay open, aware, and connected to your higher self, you'll find that you're being led to something extraordinary. For such a long time, we've allowed outside influences to shape the way we see ourselves and how we move through the world. These influences, whether political, religious, social, or material, have dictated who we should be, what we should strive for, and what we ought to fear. But as those systems begin to unravel and fall away, something powerful happens. A space opens up, inviting us back to ourselves, back to the quiet truth that's always been within. It's like someone who has lived under the weight of others' expectations for too long. They've been told how to behave, what to believe in, and what they should value. And then one day something shifts. They realize they no longer need to live that way. They begin to trust their own instincts, to move through life guided not by the outside world, but by their own inner knowing. This is the gift hidden within collapse. It creates an opening, a moment where we can finally choose differently. It calls us to rise into the fullness of who we are, unchained from the past and no longer molded by systems that were never meant to honor our spirit. It's not about fighting back or rebuilding what's falling apart. It's about seeing that we don't need those old structures to feel powerful or whole. Everything we need has been inside us all along, quietly waiting to be remembered. It's like discovering a treasure buried deep in your own backyard. You had no idea it was there. And then suddenly, you realize it's been yours the whole time. The unraveling of these systems isn't a loss, it's an awakening. It forces us to go inward, to dig through the layers of noise, distraction, and fear, until we uncover the truth that was always waiting in our hearts. And with that truth comes a responsibility. We can't wait around for the world to shift. We have to be the shift. Just like a gardener tending to their plants, gently nurturing them day by day, we're being called to tend to our own energy, to choose thoughts and actions that reflect love, truth, and compassion. To let go of the old narratives that told us we were small, powerless, or broken, and instead to begin writing new stories, ones that speak of empowerment, peace, abundance, and courage. When we choose to live from this place of inner truth, we become part of something much bigger. Every person who reconnects with their own light helps to lift the entire collective. The more of us who wake up to our own power, the more the world begins to reflect that transformation. What's happening out there isn't separate from what's happening within. The energetic detox we're experiencing isn't just about the breakdown of outdated systems. It's also about releasing the beliefs and emotional wounds that have held us back. It's about stripping away illusions, dissolving fear, softening greed, and clearing away the lies that have kept us from seeing who we truly are. Once those layers begin to fall away, something new can emerge. A world that mirrors our inner light instead of our inner wounds. This is not the end. It's a turning point, a profound spiritual transformation that is asking humanity to wake up, to remember its true essence, and to reclaim the power that was never truly lost. The universe is extending an invitation, an opportunity to become more of who we are, to co-create a world rooted in love, truth, and unity. What looks like an ending is really a beginning, a chance to move beyond the limitations of the past and to live in deep alignment with our most authentic selves. In the midst of all this, our understanding of time is also beginning to shift. For so long, we've lived as though time moves in a straight line, past, present, future, one step after another in a fixed, predictable sequence. That framework has shaped the way we live and plan, the way we grow and move forward. But now, as we evolve spiritually, that rigid view of time is beginning to unravel. A more fluid, flexible experience is emerging. One that doesn't follow a strict path, but instead moves in waves, loops, and spirals. This isn't just a theory. It's something many people are beginning to feel. Time feels different. Moments seem to stretch or collapse. Past events rise again with vivid emotion, or people from long ago suddenly reappear in our lives. We're living through a time when the lines between past, present, and future are becoming more and more blurred. From the perspective of higher consciousness beings like the Pleiadians, time isn't linear at all. It's more like a woven fabric made of countless threads that twist, turn, and overlap in every direction. And as the energy of transformation moves through humanity, these threads are beginning to shift. Some are merging, bringing together what once seemed unrelated. Others are splitting, opening new doorways and possibilities we couldn't have imagined before. This new experience of time can feel strange, even disorienting. It's like walking through a hallway where the doors change shape or disappear or lead to completely different places than expected. You might have a dream or memory so clear it feels more real than your waking life. Or you might have a conversation with someone and feel like you've had it before. these moments aren't mistakes. They're signs that the boundaries between timelines are dissolving. Everything is flowing and shifting. Just like a river no longer confined by its banks, time is now winding its own course. And this has a profound effect on how we create our reality. The old method of setting a goal, creating a step-by-step plan, and following it in sequence is beginning to feel less effective. That's because manifestation is no longer about following a specific timeline. It's about tuning into the energy of the present moment. The Pleiadians teach that the key to creation now lies in alignment. When you align your energy with clarity, intention, and presence, you step into a field of infinite potential. It's like standing in a room filled with doors, each one a different version of reality. And instead of being told which one to open, you simply follow the pull of your own energy, your own resonance. Decision-making, too, is changing. Where once we felt pressure to make the right choice, now we're being invited to loosen our grip. There is no one perfect path. There are many. Each choice carries its own beauty and lessons. You're no longer walking a straight road, but wandering a vast field of flowers where every direction holds something valuable. It's not about control anymore. It's about trust. To live this way, we must release the belief that time is something we must manage, control, or beat. The old pressure to make the most of every second or to wait for the perfect time is falling away. In its place, we are learning to live in flow, to be fully present, to trust the moment we are in. That begins with simple awareness. Being here, not in the past or the future, but right now. Observing the details of your world, the sensations in your body, the thoughts that arise. There is also a powerful freedom in embracing the idea of timelessness. Instead of seeing time as finite or slipping away, we begin to sense that it is vast, ever-present, and limitless. This awareness frees us from the fear that we're running out of time or falling behind. We begin to live with more ease, guided not by urgency, but by inspiration and intuition. Stillness becomes an essential practice in this new relationship with time. In a world that often urges us to move faster, slowing down can be revolutionary. When we pause, breathe, and simply be, we sync back up with the natural rhythm of life. It's like sitting beside a still lake, watching the ripples gently expand. In those moments of calm, time softens, and we reconnect with the deeper current flowing beneath everything. This stillness brings us back to our center, grounding us amidst the shifts. The transition we're in isn't always easy. It can be confusing or even overwhelming. But it's also full of potential, and we don't need to have it all figured out. What matters most is that we meet ourselves with patience and grace. With time, trust, and gentle practice, we learn to move with time, rather than against it. We begin to see that each moment is a doorway, and the power to create lies in how we show up for it. In this unfolding journey, another layer is beginning to stir, the awakening of ancient energies within us. Deep in our DNA lies a sleeping wisdom, a quiet power that has waited patiently through generations. It is a sacred memory, encoded into our very being, whispering stories from beyond this lifetime. And now, as humanity rises into a higher state of awareness, those dormant energies are awakening. This awakening doesn't always come with fireworks or grand revelations. Often it begins with a quiet stirring, a subtle shift in perception. Maybe you start to see the world more clearly, or find new meaning in old memories. Maybe something inside you starts to pull, an urge to go deeper, to remember something you can't quite name. It's like a seed that's been sleeping underground suddenly beginning to sprout. At first, it may not look like much, but over time, you begin to feel it. A knowing, a remembering, a light flickering back on. As you open to these energies, you may notice bursts of creativity or insight that seem to appear out of nowhere. Ideas flow freely. Inspiration bubbles up in surprising ways. You might feel like you're tapping into something greater, a stream of consciousness that's always been there, waiting for you to tune in. These moments are not random. They are signs that you are awakening to the ancient wisdom that's always lived within you, a wisdom that connects you not only to your ancestors but to the vast intelligence of the cosmos. This is not about becoming something new. It's about remembering who you already are. It's about reconnecting with the deepest truth of your soul. And as you do, the world around you begins to shift. What once felt confusing becomes clear. What once felt out of reach begins to move closer. You are stepping into your full potential, not because you finally earned it, but because you finally remembered it was always yours. And this is the journey we're all on now. A collective return to truth. A homecoming to the power, beauty, and wisdom that has always been our birthright. The systems may fall, the timelines may bend, but the light within us remains unshaken. It is from this place that we rise, not to rebuild the old, but to create something new, something aligned, something true. Sometimes you might feel this deep inner desire to create something meaningful, something that mirrors the transformation happening within you. These sudden bursts of creativity are more than just random impulses. They're signs from the universe that you're aligning with your higher self. It's as though a part of you that's been asleep is beginning to wake up, nudging you to express yourself in ways that feel both new and exhilarating. At the same time, your intuition may be growing stronger, guiding you with a clarity that's hard to explain. You might start noticing that you just know things without any obvious reasoning behind them, or feel drawn toward a certain path even when it defies logic. It's like your senses are expanding beyond the physical, giving you access to a deeper level of knowing. This intuitive insight becomes your compass, lighting the way even when the road ahead isn't entirely clear. As these dormant energies within you begin to stir, it's not always a smooth ride. Sometimes it can feel like you've opened a floodgate, and now you're being carried by a wave of new insights, emotions, and inspiration. It can be a lot to take in. But that's okay. This process of awakening and growth takes time, and it requires kindness toward yourself. There will be moments when you need to pull back, to rest, and make space for everything that's shifting inside you. It's not about rushing to reach some final destination. It's about discovering who you truly are, one moment at a time. One of the most powerful ways to support this awakening is through meditation. When you quiet your mind, you create a space where your inner voice can be heard. The voice that's often drowned out by the noise of daily life. Meditation is like turning off all the external distractions so you can hear the wisdom that's always been quietly waiting within you. In those still moments, you start to receive guidance and insights that are uniquely meant for you. Meditation isn't just a tool for relaxation. It's a way to allow the energy within you to rise, to flow freely, and to integrate with your awareness without resistance. Breathing exercises are another beautiful way to work with this energy. The breath connects your physical body with your spiritual self. By becoming more conscious of your breath, you bring awareness into your body and energy field. It's like using your breath as a key to unlock a door within you, allowing energy to circulate and removing any inner blockages. With each mindful inhale and exhale, you create space for your energy to expand, and in doing so, you awaken more fully to your own potential. Spending time in nature can also help bring these dormant energies to life. There's something inherently balancing and grounding about the natural world. The earth has a rhythm, a wisdom, and an energy of its own. And when you're surrounded by it, you can't help but remember your connection to something much larger. Just as trees root into the earth while reaching for the sky, you too can draw energy from both the ground beneath you and the cosmos above. Whether you're walking barefoot on the soil, sitting beneath a tree, or simply feeling the breeze on your skin, being in nature realigns you with the flow of life and supports your spiritual growth in a gentle but profound way. As you awaken to this higher potential within yourself, keep in mind that it's not about achieving perfection. It's about learning to live in alignment with your truest self. A seed doesn't rush to become a tree. It unfolds at its own pace, trusting the process. And that's exactly how your journey will unfold. Trust that the energy rising within you is doing so exactly when it's meant to. Every creative impulse, every intuitive moment, Every flash of inspiration you receive is part of your higher self reaching out and responding to the greater energy of the universe. This is how your soul speaks, through the beauty of your expression, through the depth of your knowing. As you embrace this awakening, the way you see the world begins to change. You start to recognize that life is filled with infinite possibilities, and they're all waiting for you to explore them. Now more than ever, it's also important to understand the role that the Earth itself plays in this transformation. The planet isn't just a backdrop to our lives. It's a living, breathing being, constantly pulsing with energy. Just as we are going through a collective evolution, so too is the Earth. Its vibration is rising, moving in harmony with our own shifts in consciousness. And this isn't happening in isolation. The changes within us are deeply connected to the changes within the planet. It's like a grand symphony, where the tuning of one instrument subtly shifts the tone of the entire orchestra. This planetary shift can be felt in many ways. You might notice it in more intense weather patterns, unexpected changes in seasons, or shifts in the behavior of animals and ecosystems. These aren't just random occurrences. They're reflections of the Earth adjusting her energy, responding to the growing frequency that surrounds her. Sometimes the changes are subtle, like a gentle hum beneath the surface. Other times they arrive like a thunderclap. But all of it is meaningful. All of it is part of the Earth's own journey of transformation, mirroring our internal shifts as we move into greater awareness. There is a deeply spiritual and energetic bond between humanity and the Earth. It's not just about living on the planet, it's about living with her. During times of heightened energy, learning how to connect with the Earth's energy grid can be incredibly stabilizing. This grid is an invisible network, like the circulatory system of the planet, carrying energy through sacred sites and natural landmarks across the globe. When we tune into this grid, we draw on the Earth's natural strength and steadiness. It helps us stay grounded while we adjust to the powerful transformations happening within and around us. One of the simplest and most effective ways to do this is through grounding. Grounding brings your awareness back to the present moment by connecting you directly with the Earth's surface. It might be as simple as standing barefoot on the grass or sitting with your back against a tree. These actions may seem small, but they carry profound energy. Grounding helps you feel steady, clear, and rooted, especially when everything around you feels like it's moving too fast. It allows you to release what you no longer need and absorb the nourishment the Earth freely offers. But grounding is more than just an occasional practice. It's a way of life. It's about becoming more conscious of the Earth's cycles and letting your own energy fall into rhythm with hers. Just as the moon pulls the tides, there's a pull within you that can sync with the natural movements of the planet. You might find grounding through meditation, visualizing roots extending from your body deep into the earth, or even just breathing mindfully and feeling yourself supported by gravity. These simple acts can bring a sense of balance and calm that helps you navigate the energetic changes with more grace. In a world that's often noisy, fast-paced, and overstimulating, grounding becomes not only helpful, it becomes essential. We're constantly absorbing energy from everything around us: technology, social media, news, and the buzz of modern life. All of this can leave us feeling scattered, unanchored, and overwhelmed. Grounding gives you a way to come back to yourself. It's a gentle reminder that no matter how high you soar spiritually, you still need to stay rooted to the earth. She is your foundation, your mirror, and your guide. As you continue moving through this time of personal and collective transformation, know that you're not alone. The creative surges you experience, the sudden clarity of intuition, and the deep longing for connection with the natural world. These are all signs that you're waking up to the deeper truth of who you are. The universe is guiding you back to yourself, back to a place of wisdom and wholeness that's always been there, waiting for you to remember. And as you remember, you'll begin to see that everything is connected. Your inner world reflects the outer world, and the Earth's evolution reflects your own. Together, you and the planet are rising, step by step, into a higher state of being. Sometimes, Life pulls us in a dozen different directions at once. There are moments when the noise, the pace, and the constant demands of the world around us leave us feeling scattered or disconnected from ourselves. It's in those moments that grounding becomes essential. It's not just a spiritual practice or a trendy term. It's the quiet return to something steady and real. When we ground ourselves, it's like pressing a reset button that gently brings us back to center. It helps us step out of the chaos and remember who we are beneath the noise. Grounding reconnects us with the Earth's calm and stable energy. It reminds us that beneath all the movement, there's something solid holding us. It brings us into the now, into the present moment where peace always lives. It also supports the integration of all the energetic changes happening inside us. Because as we move through this time of deep transformation, it's not unusual to experience waves of creative energy, bursts of intuition, emotional ups and downs, or even a sense of restlessness we can't quite name. These shifts can feel intense, as if we're carrying too much or moving too fast. That's where grounding comes in. It helps us release what we no longer need and allows the energy within us to settle. It's a way to let go of the buildup before it overwhelms us, like releasing steam from a pressure cooker before it reaches its limit. But grounding doesn't just help on a personal level. When we ground ourselves, we also begin to tune in more deeply to the frequency of the Earth itself. As the planet evolves and its vibration rises, we can feel that shift ripple through the collective energy of humanity. When we connect with the Earth, we don't just align with her. We tap into a greater flow, a shared wisdom, a vast network of life that surrounds and supports us. In this space of connection, we remember that we're never alone. We're part of something bigger than ourselves, something ancient and enduring. The Earth is playing a powerful role in this transition. She's guiding us forward, helping us step into a new way of being, one that's more in harmony with the rhythms of nature and the deeper truths of our souls. When we ground ourselves, whether it's by walking barefoot on the ground, sitting in stillness, or simply breathing consciously, we align with that rhythm. We find balance in the midst of change and draw strength from the very roots of life. Just like a tree finds nourishment and stability through its roots, we too find our center by returning to the Earth. As we move forward, we're also being called to face something that's been with us for far too long: fear. Fear has been woven into the very structure of our world for centuries. It's the unseen force that shapes decisions, keeps people small, and whispers doubts just as we're about to leap. It's the barrier that stops us from fully becoming who we're meant to be. These fear-based systems have held people back for ages, quietly conditioning them to stay in line, to follow predictable paths, and to question their own power. But something is shifting. These old systems are starting to fall apart, and with that collapse comes a rising awareness of just how much control fear has had over our lives. It's as if the walls are crumbling and the light is finally getting in. And yet, even as the structures collapse, fear tries to hold on. It amplifies, clinging tighter than ever, trying to keep people from stepping into their freedom. This fear doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes it shows up as self-doubt, hesitation, or the need for approval. It disguises itself as logic or practicality. But at its core, it's the same energy, meant to keep us from expanding into our full potential. When we begin to recognize these patterns in ourselves, we open the door to change. We start to see that many of the doubts and limits we carry aren't really ours. They were placed there by systems that wanted to keep us small. And when we pause to question those thoughts, when we ask ourselves, is this fear truly mine? We begin to break free. Seeing fear for what it is requires courage and self-honesty. But once we do, we gain the power to release it. Choosing to live from a place of love, compassion, and trust in the face of fear is one of the bravest choices we can make. It's not passive. It's revolutionary. It's a declaration that we're no longer willing to be controlled by shadows, that we're ready to step into the light and trust that it will carry us forward. Love and trust have the power to dissolve fear. They don't just heal us, they ripple out, affecting those around us, and even the collective energy of the planet. Every time we choose love instead of fear, we contribute to the creation of something new, a world built not on control, but on truth, unity, and compassion. And even though the journey out of fear isn't always easy, it's the path that leads to real freedom. It's the quiet revolution happening in hearts all over the world. These changes aren't just showing up in the collective, they're surfacing in our personal lives too. You might find that certain relationships are shifting, that old jobs no longer feel aligned, or that long-held habits are falling away. These experiences can be confusing or even painful, but they're not random. They're signs that the energy around you and within you is changing. You're evolving, and the old pieces of your life that no longer resonate are making space for something new. Maybe you feel called to move, to seek new communities, or to deepen your spiritual path. These callings are part of your realignment. They're invitations from the universe to step into a life that reflects who you truly are. Transformation isn't always comfortable. It often involves letting go, facing uncertainty, and moving through discomfort. But the discomfort doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're shedding the old and making room for the new. The ego might resist. It may cling to what feels familiar, but your soul knows that you're being guided towards something more meaningful. When you surrender to that inner guidance, when you trust the path unfolding before you, you allow yourself to grow into your highest potential. There are so many others walking this path too. People all over the world are waking up, shaking off the old layers of fear and stepping into their power. These aren't just isolated moments of awakening. They're part of a collective rising, a shared evolution that's reshaping the energy of the planet. Every time someone chooses to live with intention, to embrace change, or to follow their truth, they add to the momentum. They become part of the shift that's already underway. Many spiritual teachings, including messages from the Pleiadians, have spoken of this moment for a long time. This is a time of choice, a time to decide which path you will walk. Will you stay in the comfort of the familiar, even if it no longer serves you? Or will you step into the unknown and trust that something better awaits? The shift is happening. That much is certain. What remains to be seen is whether you will move with it or resist. Now is the time to reflect deeply. What beliefs are you ready to release? What habits or patterns are holding you back? This journey isn't just about what's happening in the outside world. It's about who you're becoming on the inside. You're being invited to release the old version of yourself and rise into the person you've always been meant to be. This is a time of becoming, of shedding what no longer fits and embracing your truth. Visualization can be a powerful guide in this process. Imagine yourself stepping into a new reality, free from fear and full of purpose. See yourself walking forward with confidence, aligned with the higher frequencies that are shaping this new world. That vision isn't a fantasy. It's a glimpse of what's possible. The more clearly you hold it, the more you'll begin to live it. The energy you put into that vision begins to shape your reality, aligning you with the flow of creation and allowing your life to unfold in harmony with your soul's path. As more people choose this path, the energy of the collective continues to shift. Each person's awakening contributes to the whole. When you heal, grow, and align with your truth, you create space for others to do the same. The ripple effect is real. One person's transformation can inspire countless others. You don't need to be loud or grand to make a difference. Sometimes it's the quiet acts, the kindness you extend, the truth you speak, the love you share, that create the biggest waves. This is the dawn of something new. The collapse of the old is making way for a future that holds limitless possibility. The systems built on fear and control are crumbling, and from their ashes, something beautiful is emerging. A world built on connection, love, creativity, and shared purpose is waiting to be born. This is your moment, your opportunity to step fully into your power and create a life and a world that reflects the deepest truths of your being. So the question remains, Will you rise with the tide of change, or will you stay anchored to the shore of the familiar? The choice is yours. And whatever you choose, know this: you are more powerful than you've ever been told. And the world is ready for your light.